Alright, the White Tiger Knight. This is going to be my detailed review here, just of the Mosin 9130. You can see she's oiled up. Got a lot of CLP working on it, just soaking in it, and I cleaned it already. I'm just going to keep soaking it, and basically I'm just going to talk about some of the things. This is from J&G Sales for anybody who's interested in possibly purchasing one of these. And basically this is the Bore Select model, so anybody who's thinking about possibly paying that $30 extra on the question, hopefully this video might be able to help you. And I'm going to cut to some shots here that show a little bit of the things that I'm going to talk about real quick, but I'm just going to hit some of the major issues. I found some rust up underneath where the handguard sits. Okay, basically on this rifle here, you know, I think water can get down in that crack there and get underneath down in there where the barrel is, where the barrel sits inside the actual wooden stock here. And if any kind of water or something gets in there, you'll see it'll start possibly rusting if it sits there for a while. That's another reason mainly why I'm really trying to soak it in oil, because I'm trying to really prevent any possible rusting or corrosion or anything further wear on it. So basically, if there's anything, the main part most people I think don't really think about when they check these is actually underneath the stock here, where there's potentially rust, and there's some rust back here as well. And if anybody knows anything possibly about dealing with the rust, or a good way to get rid of it, or what I should possibly do about that, I really appreciate it. This is the area I was mentioning about the rust. It's underneath the barrel. You can see it's pretty significant. I don't think it pierces all the way through. I think the rifling inside is great. It works, but as you can see through here, it's near the front, underneath the handguard. These are the little rings here. I actually have a star on one of my rings, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, this is the actual rust on the barrel. I'm trying to focus in so you can see it a little better here, and it's pretty significant. And again, there's a little bit of rust back here on the the tang area, where the trigger is near the back of the stock. You can see possibly some kind of water or something got in there, and it's slight rust. That was really what I was expecting, and I think that's pretty easy to take care of. The one on the barrel is pretty significant, a little more than I thought would be there. All right, as you can see, hopefully if other people could submit their experience on possibly what kind of rust they have seen on a non-hand select J&G Sales, underneath the handguard or anywhere, any kind of rust on the barrel or any metal pieces of the firearm would be great, because I really need a base to kind of base this off of, the base model they have, so we can really do a proper comparison. So if anybody could add their thoughts on that, it'd be great. Another issue I came up with, even with the hand select and the hand select for bore from J&G Sales, is that I think they just pulled this bayonet kind of out of nowhere, pulled it out of the rack, and didn't really even fit it or see. It doesn't match. None of the numbers match on it, and it has some interesting markings, but they're completely, I think, irrelevant based on the compared with the gun. And it's kind of unfortunate, because I was really hoping that would work smoothly. I know you can do certain things with the Dremel tool and really get this guy worked out, which is possibly what I think I'm going to do. But eventually, I think that it's kind of unfortunate that you got to go through that, especially with the hand select. Paying the extra money for it, you might as well be better off just not paying for the hand select if you're not interested in trying to get a good rifling or a good bore, or possibly a good chamber area where you can hopefully not have burrs and other pitting and stuff on the inside, which was mainly what I was going for, which is why I purchased this. I'm going to cut in with some footage of the actual bore here in a second, so you can see what we're looking at here, and possibly show you guys good thoughts about whether or not you think you want a bore select. I think if you're not going for a bore, if you're thinking about exporterizing it or just keeping it, not necessarily trying to make it a long-range target shooter, just which is really my idea here. Again, I got the brass stacker and the scope mount. I'm thinking about possibly going with even trying to weigh the cost between the Monte Carlo stock or just refinishing this one. I think the Monte Carlo stock might be a little more convenient for longer ranges than accuracy, if I do it right and possibly glass bed it. But I know that a lot of people have issues with the Monte Carlo stock getting the kind of the little spring extractor type piece that will actually If the stock doesn't fit right, it'll bend that spring out of whack, and you won't get proper ejection. You have a failure to eject the round, which is problematic. And I really don't want to experience any kind of issues, any kind of reliability issues with a stock here. I think this bad boy is really reliable. I think it's tested, field tested. Obviously, I think it works great. So I might even just glass bed this here, refinish it, and call it a day. We'll see how it shoots at the range. Again, I haven't even taken her out yet because it's pretty restrictive in my area and extremely expensive. And honestly, nobody in my area even sells a 7.62 by 54. Obviously, many people know that the ammunition is really scarce right now because of all the gun grabbing talk and everything that's going on. But I think that I was hoping the 7.62 by 54 would be more accessible. Unfortunately, it isn't, and that's unfortunate, but I'm going to order lots of it, hopefully on the internet if that's still legal. But I think I'm definitely going to do that pretty quickly, just so I have some stuff, in supply. And this is the scope, and the butt pad, the brass stacker, scope mount. I'm going to go through the installation process of all of these in a later video. This is just really for anybody who has a question on whether they think they should pay the extra money for a bore select on the J&G sales Mosin Nagant 9130. I wish that I had this video when I was looking to buy this because I think it would be instructive and helpful. Again, my recommendations are, if you're just looking for a pretty stock, I would recommend Brownells. I think they actually have laminated stocks. They're probably prettier and don't require as much refinishing. But if you really want to get a good value and you're not really worried about trying to make some kind of scoped rifle out of it, I would actually recommend just going ahead and stick with the regular, base value and refinishing the stock, doing little things to upgrade that can be really cost effective and I think really benefit you. One more item that I think is a really great value is this trigger, this little trigger upgrade. It was 99 cents on Amazon plus shipping. Unfortunately, I paid more shipping than this, but if you can ever find anywhere, it's about $1. Or you can do it yourself. I've seen a lot of people kind of, bubba up some of these things, with a spring and whatnot. I mean, I figured I would just get one that was, 99 cents. I mean, why not just get something that I think will work in it. Now, I really am kind of concerned about whether or not this guy right here is going to basically fit within the magazine well. Right here you can have some issues because you place this. I'll try and get a little detailed installation here on this, or at least some shots of it, but basically you place this inside of, or on top of the screw that's within here, and it shims up the spring a little bit. Do it at your own risk, but this is sold on Amazon, so I think it should work hopefully. And then the spring is associated just to get rid of a little bit of the slop that's in the trigger, of which this trigger really doesn't have so much necessarily, but there is a little bit in there, but not really that much. I think it'll help it though, keep it tight, and it's a really simple thing that can help it out. So here's a view of the rifle here in the light. I'm going to go through here and place one more pass through here so you can kind of see the outside exterior. Again, this is the hand select as well as hand select for bore, so they're claiming, I guess, that this stock is of somehow better quality than the standard, although the quality still needs refinishing. Thus I would recommend sticking with the standard, especially not paying the hand select fee if you're not interested in paying the hand select for bore fee, because the only thing you're going to get is a fancier stock, and the stock is not really very fancy. In fact, this needs some major refinishing. The wood is really cracking, and I'm going to go ahead and refinish it and lacquer it up, and probably use the True Oil on the stock. As you can see, it's Izzy or Ishvek 1943. There's some interesting markings. As you can see here, this is the inside here where the actual, near the bore area and the chamber area. There's some slight rusting, some surface rust, I think, that's built up kind of in the top left corner, as you can see there. And you can actually still see a lot of cosmoline in there, and that's pretty unfortunate. I mean, I put a lot of CLP and stuff in there. I think I'm going to have to do the mineral salts to get in that borer there, to get most of that cosmoline out there. Make sure before I shoot that, because that's what causes a lot of the sticky bolt. But anyway, there's a little bit, as you can see, of a little bit of rust within this bore area here, which is kind of unfortunate. Near on the face here, just on the face of it. This is the paid extra for the bore select, and that's kind of unfortunate. So I really wouldn't recommend that at this point. Apologize for the zoom in. You can see some of the pitting in the barrel there. I think you can definitely see some confirmed pitting where the rifling is there in the barrel. So that's again pretty unfortunate. I think again at this point I would not recommend paying extra for the hand select for bore, because clearly using a light and getting in there, you can see some definite confirmed pitting there in the rifling if you look down through the barrel area. So you can as well see some surface rust building up on the face here. Mainly where kind of the bolt face or the bolt goes in through, and definitely again some pitting in the rifling there near the rear of the actual barrel. There's still cosmoline again build up, a lot of it built up through down here on the bottom. I have to clean that out with a brush, and I have to get in here with some bore polish possibly. Really hit it hard and try to get a lot of that, hopefully some of the surface rust off of there, and really try to polish it up. So I think it's in good shape, and without really taking a lot of material out, obviously. Again, it's a couple of surface rust areas, which is kind of problematic, but I think it's manageable. But unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend the bore select, because at this point, if you're going to do all this work, you might as well just start out and do it anyway and get it save the money and spend the money on all the equipment that you're going to be using to actually get this thing back up in shape. So again, looking down the front, it's actually okay on the front here. I think there's no counter bore on this one, which I think is a good thing. And but the rifling is pretty slim here, and I think it's a little bit smooth. I mean, it seems to be less pitting near the actual front, or the the front of the barrel here. And I think the rifling though is I'm not sure. Hopefully people that have a little more experience here could chime in on how their rifling looks, and if they think this is actually acceptable or not. I think it's a little light on the rifling. It seems a little worn, but it's still there and visible. So I'm not so disappointed in at least how this looks from this angle. However, the other angle is kind of disappointing. And at that point, I'm kind of thinking that I should have just basically went with the base model, and been planning on doing this as a project gun, and really polishing it out, and doing a lot of refurbishing basically on it, which I was really hoping that this bore would be a little better than as you see in the other angle. However, this angle seems to be not so bad, and I think that's a good thing. Alright, you guys, so wrapping this video up here. I mean, I think you saw what I saw. I'm pretty actually kind of disappointed with that. I thought that I didn't even imagine that there would be rust inside the actual area there, the breech area or the chamber area where the bolt's sitting, and the bolt face area. But that's kind of unfortunate. And again, there's some definite, I think, confirmed pitting in the actual bore. Right near that area where the rust is. I think you can see that in the video pretty well. I think a little slight pitting in the in the rifling, which I think is fairly unfortunate. I think near the end of the barrel, I don't think it's counterbored, and I think the bore seems okay, I guess you could say, coming through this area. I saw some possible where this rust spot was on the exterior of the barrel, possibly even getting into the interior, so that might be really problematic. Again, at this point, I would not recommend paying the extra money for the bore select, honestly, because this is just becoming a project. If I'm gonna have to polish the bore and get in there and basically refinish the entire interior of the bore surfaces, then really I'm not sure why I would have paid extra for hopefully a bore select. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily so bad. I think it's doable. This is just becoming more of a project than I intended, but I think I'm definitely willing to do it. I'm really interested in this platform here, and I'm definitely going to go, I think, all the way, polish that out, probably get some bore cleaner, some bore polish, bore bright and all that, get in there and hopefully get this thing basically in tip-top shape as possible. But I'll let you know how that goes. Again, we're going to be scoping it, and installing the butt plate, trigger assembly pieces, and brass stacker pretty soon on it. Thinking about possibly taking it to the range with the iron sights first and just seeing how it goes. I'm going to check the headspace.